One of the stories we're going to talk about tonight is, the government and all their plans and all their actions for, we're going to get tough on crime. Crime's going to come down. We're going to, Well, today the government admits they are at risk of missing their violent crime reduction targets. So we best go and check out what that is all about. And let's just say welcome to Stuff. We don't often use Stuff content. But thank you, kia ora. Welcome to the show, Stuff. Thank you for continuing to contribute to Big Hairy News.
The government has released its first report card on its set of self-imposed targets, and it doesn't make for rosy reading. Statistics have gone backwards in more than half of the measures, but it's most evident in law and order. Senior political correspondent Jenna Lynch joins us now. Jenna, what's the government going to do about this?
Yeah, another crime crackdown was the antidote to the disastrous data today. Yesterday, Christopher Luxon was up in Auckland.
So hang on. Their pledge was a crime crackdown. That doesn't seem to be working. So the answer that they've given, according to Jenna Lynch, is we're going to do another crime crackdown. Hang on, maybe I'm missing something.
Heralding that crime had come down in the CBD, but all the while he was sitting on this latest data from the most recent crime victimisation survey, which showed a 30,000 increase in violent crime across the country. That is the exact opposite of the 20,000 reduction target that National has set itself in this area. It's explained.
You okay with that, Chewie? You look like you're about to explode. You all right?
Oh, no, this is great. The system is proceeding as predicted.
So basically they said they'd reduced by about 20,000. They've increased by 30,000. But, party of law and order and all that bullshit.
Area. It's explained it away by saying that there is a lag
by saying that Labor bad.
In this data, and some of that reflected in this latest report dates back to July 2022, but it is this very same survey, this data that the government has decided to mark itself on. That very same survey ruled that there was no real statistical increase in violent crime between 2018 and 2023. It's very different data than National used to label Labor soft on crime when it was last in government, but it is.
Hang on, Jenna, are you saying that National's kind of cherry-picked data to make Labor look bad? Really? I find that hard to believe, Chewie. That doesn't seem right. Well, they wouldn't do that. Surely they wouldn't do that.
Couldn't imagine it. Couldn't imagine.
Rejecting any assertions that it is cherry-picked this survey for political purposes, calling that suggestion cynical.
I said to you, there are 6-year targets in 2030. We're going to report on them every quarter. Sometimes they'll go backwards, sometimes they'll go forwards. But the bottom line is I'm interested in results and outcomes. I'm not interested in the petty politics of it. I want to get a different set of outcomes in this country. We cannot carry on the way that we're doing.
Notice again, and Chewie, I'm stealing your line there. He didn't say better outcomes. He said different outcomes, right? Just be aware. He said different outcomes. So much, much worse would still be fulfilling this criteria.
Bottom line is I'm interested in results and outcomes. I'm not interested in the petty politics of it. I want to get a different set of outcomes in this country. We cannot carry on the way that we're doing. We said we would turn the place around. That's what we're going to do. And it will be hard because we've got a massive trajectory of results going against us and momentum continuing to go the wrong way.
Now, in response to the numbers going the wrong way, the government today announced that it had taken its proposed changes to sentencing to Cabinet and will introduce them to the House this week. It includes things like capping the maximum discount that judges can apply to sentences for mitigation.
So again, experts, judges, people who have known the system for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and this government's going to come in and go, we know better? Honestly.
Factors to 40% and stopping the use of repeat discounts for the likes of youth or remorse in sentencing. It's also added a couple of new aggravating factors to sentencing, one of which is adults who exploit children by aiding and abetting them to commit crimes. The other is for people who post their crimes online or live stream them. If that sounds familiar, it is because they're the last Labor government's changes to the Ram Raids bill, that same government that National called soft on crime.
Oh, Chewie, have at it, my friend. Have at it.
Hey, Pat, can you just bring up in that clip just Samantha, a picture of Samantha there?
I can do that.
This is very off topic, and I apologize.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so I don't know that it's the neckline that has caught my interest.
Right.
Am I crazy that her neckline looked like the Wu-Tang logo?
That is very off topic.
That is very off topic, but
that is very.
This, I mean, Wu-Tang is forever. And that's all I've got for this fucking story, because I don't know whether Luxon has actually believed the shit that he's campaigned on, that for some reason National are going to come in and solve crime. Because again, it's never worked. It's never worked. A crime crackdown never works. You end up with a whole bunch of people in jail. You're spending money on that. You're spending money on enforcement. And then the criminals get more hardened. They go to crime university. They come out and they do more crime. And we end up with this cycle of criminals and their families and the kids doing more crime. It turbocharges crime. But it's good for the votes. It's not the problem. Crime is not the problem. It's a feature. It's a feature that keeps them in. Because there are people that read stories about crime and think that the only thing that is being harsh is the only thing that stops it. But it didn't stop crime when we had the death penalty. It didn't stop crime when we chucked people in dungeons. It doesn't fucking work. But what does work is having work for people to do and ways to make their life better. But that's too soft and namby-pamby and wishy-washy, and people want to punish.
Yeah.
They want people to suffer. As long as it's not them on the wrong end of the boot, they are fine with it, and they will vote for it every time. And Luxon fucking knows it.
Yep. And mark our words, what they're going to do with crime is they're going to change how they count the stats. And then they're going to try and claim a victory. It'll happen. You heard it here first. Just wait and see. It'll happen. They will change it. They will change it all.